Ukrainian knife fighting, or UKF, is a weapon martial art and full contact sport that appeared in Ukraine in the 2000s. UKF combines hand-to-hand combat techniques and knife fencing techniques. The martial art is quickly growing in popularity and developing in various sports clubs that operate in major cities of Ukraine. Each of these clubs has adopted its individual features or fighting styles, but there are several common characteristics that are inherent to all branches of UKF. Maneuverability. Staying still in one place during a fight may result in severe wounds or death, so UKF fighters are constantly on the move, attacking their opponent and avoiding strikes. Full speed and full contact. Slashes and stabs are delivered with full force and at maximum speed, as if it were happening in real life. Sparring. Sparring is an integral part of training drills. We strongly believe that only in a duel can a fighter hone his skills. This is the main dogma of UKF. There are several branches in UKF, and I'd like to introduce you to them.
Our training consists of several parts. Warm-up. We warm up all muscle groups to avoid injuries during training. Physical training is an essential part of training because the body must be ready to implement our technique in sparring. Physical training includes general physical activities that make a person stronger, and special ones designed to develop certain muscle groups and are especially important for knife fighting. Technical part of the training, where we learn the technique of fighting with a knife and defense against it. Sparring is at the top of our training process. It is the ultimate goal for which we train, to fight well. At the same time, our students are allowed to participate in sparring step by step. First, it takes them about a month to learn movement techniques used in the fighting, stabbing and defense. Only then can they qualify to participate in limited sparring, limited to stabbing attacks to the body. Then, as we progress with techniques, we introduce stabbing to the head, slash to the arms, legs, and so on. During training and sparring, we wear protective equipment, hand protection, fencing mask. We also use special models of knives designed for training purposes. They are hard inside to ensure a strong stab, but soft along cutting edge to prevent from cutting. All this allows us to completely avoid injuries during training.
There are about 10 knife fighting competitions held annually in Ukraine, with two largest gathering hundreds of participants. These are the Blade Brothers Cup, which takes place in Kharkiv in spring, and the Knife Fighting Federation Cup, which takes place in Kiev, the capital of Ukraine, during fall. Competitions are held according to height and weight categories in three groups, namely male amateurs, for those who had not previously participated in knife fighting competitions, male pros, for medalists and those who had participated multiple times, and women, for all the brave representatives of the fair sex. Stabbing and cutting blows with a knife and limited hand-to-hand actions are allowed during duels. Fights take place in a boxing ring and proceed until the required number of points is gained. The fight is evaluated by a panel of 5 judges. These competitions are organized by the non-government organization, the Federation of Knife Fighting and Weapon Martial Arts of Ukraine.
In Ukraine, knife fighting clubs began to appear in early 2000s, and in 2010 our clubs for the first time merged into an unofficial community and began to hold competition in knife fighting. In 2017, the largest club in Ukraine merged into a common non-government organization, the Federation of Knife Fighting and Weapon Martial Arts of Ukraine. We regularly hold seminars, training, conduct instructor courses, which are attended by people from other cities of Ukraine and abroad. For the present moment, we are developing quite rapidly, and representative offices of the Federation have already emerged in many cities of Ukraine.
If you have ever been in a street fight or an MMA match, you know how difficult it is to fend off an opponent whose strength is equal to yours. It is even harder to fight a person who is stronger than you physically or is better skilled, and it is yet harder when you are attacked by several people at once. A special branch of UKF teaches the use of weapons like knives, sticks, or Yawara stick for self-defense during an attack by multiple assailants. The 2014 street confrontations in Ukraine and the subsequent anti-terrorist operation incentivized the development of practical techniques of combat using improvised weapons. Unlike most styles of the world martial arts, this technique has been tested in real-life conflicts on the streets of modern cities. Many instructors and athletes of the Federation of Knife Fighting and Weapon Martial Arts of Ukraine have gone through baptism by fire in the war between Russia and Ukraine and continue to train soldiers of the armed forces and the National Guard of Ukraine.
Despite
the fact that today's wars are fought with modern weapon systems, the army knife fighting is always relevant and handy. We conduct training of the armed forces and National Guard personnel in two directions. AKF for Special Forces, where the techniques are aimed at eliminating enemy manpower. This Special Forces work is conducted on the front and behind the enemy lines and is not intended for a wide audience. Training for the general personnel of the armed forces, where we teach soldiers to protect themselves from a sudden attack by an enemy in close combat, which happened plenty of times in 2014 and, as far as I know, still happens in Israel. UKF is not only an exciting sport that develops great self-defense skills, but it is also an excellent physical training that allows you to keep fit. In addition to serious load on all muscle groups, these workouts help to develop incredible speed and reaction.
Knife fighting gives me more than just confidence. Through specialized exercises, we develop strength, speed and endurance, and quick reactions. All this helps me to stay fit not only in everyday life, but it also helps to develop skills that are crucial in my professional activity, karate.
Welcome to Ukrainian Knife Fighting. UKF stands for physical fitness, street fighting self-defense, army knife fighting, and a great full-contact sport.